Southern sports is back, and what a finish to the women's basketball season. The Final Four, we had one really good semifinal. The other semifinal was a bit of a dud. South Carolina won fairly comfortably over Louisville.
What a bunch of duds.
But, you know, that's not a slight on Louisville or South Carolina. That's just the way it was. Stanford had their chances against Connecticut. Missed 13 three-pointers in a row, which was infuriating to watch, believe me, as they kept shooting and shooting and shooting and clanking and clanking and clanking. And Stanford and Connecticut, who were there to be had, just like against NC State, just like against UCF, and they got away with it again. But unfortunately for the Huskies, they could not get away with it another time. They ran into somebody who wasn't going to let them do it, and that was South Carolina. And that is the second national title for Dawn Staley, which, as far as I'm concerned, cements her as an absolute legend of women's basketball, especially when you take into account what she's done as a player at UVA, you know, gold medals for Team USA, both as a player and a coach. And now she's got two national championships in South Carolina, who are just the 8th team to win multiple national titles. And let's think of this. This is against UCONN. Connecticut, Gino Auriemma, 11-0 in championship games, all right? 11-0. South Carolina jumped them at the start. Connecticut never led. They were down 14 in the first quarter. Didn't get it any closer than 6 points. They got it down to 6. I think that was in the fourth quarter, fairly early in the fourth quarter. And one of the other things that just blew my mind, think about how great Connecticut's been, and think about the fact that South Carolina went to the foul line 22 more times than Connecticut. Connecticut was 1 for 4. South Carolina was 17 of 26. So if you really want to distill the Gamecocks' 64-49 victory over the Huskies down to two things, you can look at two things. One is the free throw advantage, and by the way, they kind of both go together. One is the free throw advantage. South Carolina outscores UConn at the foul line by 16. South Carolina in second chance points outscores UConn 22-5 by 17, and both of those are connected because quite a few times those second chance points were shots at the foul line. And it was absolutely amazing the way South Carolina attacked the backboard from the get-go. It did my heart the power of good because, yes, the three-point shot has changed everything, and it has become almost an outsized influence, I think, to the detriment of how the game ought to be played.
Y'all sit there and watch this stupid-ass basketball. Just jack up threes all night. They go in, we win. We miss, they lose. Give me a break, you dumbass.
But what you saw tonight was with South Carolina going back to the fundamentals and the foundations of this game, which is you play smothering defense, and you are all over that team, that your opponent, and you are in their face and all over them, and you don't give them a moment to breathe. And then when they throw up a tough shot and they miss it, you go get it, or you box out so your teammate goes and get it. And that's how you earn the right to do the fun stuff on the offensive end. Well, that is what those doggone Gamecocks did tonight. They dominated in the paint early, but they dominated on the backboard early. I mean, UConn did not get an offensive rebound, and they only had 6 of them the whole game. Did not get an offensive rebound until halfway through the second quarter. And again, this is Connecticut. This is a gold standard women's basketball program. Not one offensive rebound until halfway through the second quarter. And in the end, it is the sort of thing you just do not see at a championship level, maybe ever, certainly not in a final, and certainly not happening to Connecticut. South Carolina, 49, Connecticut, 24 on rebound. I mean, that is such a destruction. I can't even really do it justice. South Carolina nearly had as many offensive rebounds, 21, as Connecticut had total rebounds. And there was just nothing Connecticut could do. In the first half, I mean, and this is just astounding when you think about it. South Carolina, it's not like they shot the ball well, but South Carolina has more margin for error. Why? South Carolina had 41 field goal attempts at halftime. Connecticut had 24. 24!
Ich bin nicht ein Bro, ich bin 24 Tim.
And they were actually over 50%. And they were still down in this game. They were still down. Let's see here. It was 35. They're down 8 at halftime. And it's Connecticut, and they're shooting over 50%, and they're down 8 at halftime. And that is down to the turnovers, which actually ended up kind of even. At one point, it was 7 turnovers for Connecticut and 1 for South Carolina. It ends up almost even. South Carolina has 14 turnovers. Connecticut has 15. But, of course, even there, South Carolina plus 9 on points off turnovers. So they were making it count. And, again, some of that was, foul shots as well. But this just did my heart the power of good, because rebounding is a mindset as much as anything else. Do you need talent? Sure you do. Do you need size up front? Sure you do. But you need two other things. Well, you need 3 other things. One, you need guards that can rebound. That's number 1. And I loved it. They did the sideline interview with Gino Auriemma, I think, after the first quarter. And he's like, our guards have got to get down there and be there for rebounds, or this is going to get worse and we're not going to have a chance. And it didn't happen. But you need guards that rebound, but it's work, and it's fundamentals, and it's working as a team.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, sometimes you got to be the one to go get the rebound, but just as often, you're the one boxing out so your teammate can get it. I saw that time and again tonight. Dawn Staley's players were so well drilled they were as committed as you could possibly be to, we are going to get these rebounds. If that shot is missed, it's our ball. And it is a mindset. That is as much part of it as anything is. If you are so focused on that, it's going to be hard for the other team to go through you without fouling. And Aaliyah Boston, National Player of the Year, 16 rebounds tonight. So, I mean, shoot, the whole other team's got 24, and she had 16 herself. 16 herself. Oh, my goodness. 11 and 16 for her, and a couple blocks, and 3 assists. What a performance she was. Destiny Henderson, who made her first 3 threes and then actually didn't make another one the rest of the game, and she was the only one to make threes. Doesn't matter. She had 26. They couldn't stop her, and she had 4 assists as well. I mean, it's just remarkable when you do that. And to be perfectly honest, Connecticut did a hell of a job to claw it back to just 6 more field goal attempts for the game for South Carolina. But why was that? South Carolina didn't take nearly as many field goal attempts in the second half because they were getting to the foul line. 22 trips to the foul line in the second half, and they made 15 of them, which again, not as good as I'd like to see, but enough to win it. I mean, this was some performance. I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed watching this, and there's few things I've enjoyed more than watching that, because that is the way South Carolina played tonight is the way basketball should be played. Great defense, attacking the glass, playing as a team, doing the fundamental things right, and earning those opportunities on the offensive end. That is how you play this game. And if I was a coach, men's or women's, I'd take that tape and I'd show that to my team. And I'm like, that attitude, that commitment, that desire to go get the basketball when a shot goes up, that is what is necessary. Because one of the things about Connecticut for years is that they don't have to crash the glass because you're so worried about them beating you on the transition that you're putting people back. So they only need 1 or 2 women down there, and they'll still fast break you to death. Couldn't do it tonight. Could not do it tonight because they were so concerned about getting bludgeoned on the boards, and it ended up happening anyway, that you didn't see them running as often as they could. And again, a fast break points, 11-8 in UConn's favor. It's one of the few things that went in UConn's favor. But that's not gonna beat anybody a +3 in that department usually. And you know, you see games where UConn scores like 20 and 30 in fast break points. Not tonight, because they had to get people down there. Because I mean, you get to the end of the first quarter, it's 12-3. Had 3 rebounds in the first quarter of this game. 10 minutes. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. And so you take away the running game from Connecticut. Now they gotta play against this South Carolina half-court defense, and they struggled. I mean, really, Bookers, who I apologize for getting her for pronouncing Grace Booker's name wrong. You know, she gets 14 points, 6 of 13, and really the only other woman that was kind of effective even a little, Caroline Ducharme, 4 of 8 from the field, but is in foul trouble and only plays 22 minutes and fouls out. So, I mean, that's 10 for 21, which is almost 50% between those two. The rest of the team's 12 of 33. That's not going to cut it. And you knew right away when Olivia Nelson-Adota, their center for UConn, was in foul trouble. You knew they were in trouble. She got 2 fouls right away. She only plays 23 minutes, and she only gets 2 shots. She makes them both. 4 points, 4 fouls, 2 rebounds. No way UConn was going to win with that happening out of her. And that's just, you know, and the other ones tried the best they could. I mean, South Carolina was not just too big and too strong. They were 100%. They were going to get these rebounds, and that was the end of it. And there wasn't a doggone thing Connecticut could do. And the only time Connecticut made any kind of progress in this game, the only time Connecticut got any kind of a run going, is when South Carolina settled for 3-pointers. And the funny thing is, Destiny Henderson makes her first 3. She doesn't make one the rest of the game. South Carolina didn't make one the rest of the game. They were 0 for 8 in the second half. And the big run that it came, like end of third quarter, early in the fourth quarter, that was where it was coming from. You know, South Carolina settled way too much for those outside shots, and they weren't getting inside, and as a result, they didn't have the players crashing the boards the way they were supposed to, and Connecticut was able to make the runs they made, and they did. They got it down to 6. They got it. Let me see what time that was. I think I want to say it was early in the fourth quarter that they got it down to 6. But I mean, like, they fought and fought, and you had to hand it to them because they were down 18 early in this game, and it looked like they were sunk. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was the fourth quarter, not the third. Okay, I guess it was the third quarter they got it down to 6. But it's like Connecticut did make a run at them. Did get this thing? They did get this thing down in the second half, and you thought, oh yeah, there you go. 1.5 minutes to go. 43-37 after an Avina Westbrook 3-pointer. So right there, that was the chance. They were right in this thing, and they had a couple of chances to get even closer than that afterwards, and still couldn't do it. And then South Carolina pulled away again. Pulled away again, and Destiny Henderson, what a player! I mean, she just dominated this game tonight, and it was a pleasure to watch her play too. They could not stay in front of her. They could not stay in front of her. I mean, she hit him with those threes early, so they had to respect that.
No more.
And then she just kept going by him, whoever was guarding her. And she played some pretty good defense too. She had the Paige Becker's assignment most of the night, which is one of the toughest assignments in basketball, even though Paige Becker's not 100%. Because they talked about it during the game about her injuries and that she's probably not all the way back yet, which is true. And of course, means she's going to be an absolute monster next year, but that's nothing unusual. So, massive praise and congratulations to Dawn Staley, legend of the game, great player, great coach, 2 national championships. Ain't a lot of women's coaches with 2. mainly because the two great ones, Pat Summitt and Gino Auriemma, have hogged most of them. But she's got 2 now, which puts her in another bracket. And it's just amazing what she's done in South Carolina. And I mean, she's the highest paid women's basketball coach in America. She's worth every penny and then some. That's no surprise either. So I just want to salute South Carolina. Yes, I was rooting for them, and I'm glad they won. They were supreme tonight. You don't see Connecticut get beat like that too often. You don't see Connecticut not lead one time in a game, and that's what happened tonight. You don't see Connecticut get jumped like that.
What is going on?
I don't know. 22-8 in the first quarter, and it got out to as much as 18 in the second quarter. You just don't see that, and there's a reason you don't see that, because Connecticut is usually just too talented, too good, and too well coached for it to happen. But they showed vulnerability in this tournament, in the second round, in the regional final, and in the semifinal, and they ran up against a team that, when they saw that vulnerability, exploited it with venom. And that's what you're supposed to do. So I salute the South Carolina Gamecocks, national champions in women's basketball, thoroughly and utterly deserved. Dawn Staley, you're just about one of the greatest as far as I'm concerned. Thank you for watching Rodent Sports. Like, subscribe, share it around, and until next time, because that's what needs to happen. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Share this around. Talk to you guys next time.
That's it. We're done, right?